this is the first session for blockchain development training. You may be wondering what is going on, what we can expect here, and how this is going to fare about. So primarily this training includes different components. It's not the regular part of a training that many people may have come across online, offline, or others. It's a more of a comprehensive training where the part of my learning as a blockchain developer, the part of learning where I have learned from others how they are trained and what are the challenges for learning online and what are the best things that we can complement with each other. Just to let you know that I tried to implement this training in offline manner. Somehow or other there were logistic issues. So I thought of getting through with the online manner. Initially, I will be speaking for 15 minutes or so. Then I will open up the session for you, for your suggestions and comments and questions. Okay, in the blockchain development training, what you can expect. First of all, we need to know what is blockchain. Many of you might have already been comprehensively aware of blockchain. You need no second introduction, but as the technology introduces, there are various components of this technology. Some of them are applications, which we are very well aware of it. Some of them are fundamental components of this particular technology. And we will be discussing all of them in a fundamental point of view, but they are the technology which is just a technology. It rests with the developer, it rests with the solution providers, how they can use this technology to provide particular solution to any person, community, or a nation at large. For example, we can think of machine learning. Machine learning itself is a technology in that cells, but that needs to be applied somewhere to get its particular result. Blockchain in itself, it may be providing some features, like it may provide transparency, it may provide automated running of code in the form of smart contracts, it may provide a consensus, which is a different power tool in itself. It may provide the features of immutability and so on and so forth. But all these features rests on the developer community, how they use those features to solve a particular problem. Like any other solution, we know that blockchain in itself is not a magic wand that solves any and every solution. To get to the domain and to get where this particular technology can be used, we need to deep dive into, and we need to learn from the previous solutions that have been implemented and what are their learnings and what things we can use so that we don't fall prey of those mistakes that earlier companies or earlier solutions have gone through. Okay, just with that particular background of what blockchain technology is, let's deep dive into what you can experience in this particular training program. Not only you will be experiencing the training, which is of course a part of it, but also you will be a part of a peer group. The peer group I will talk about very soon, why it is very important for any particular person to grow up and to experience and to challenge itself and to get the best out of the person. It also includes the platinum coaching, which is one of the components where I have felt that one can reach so much so where the person's belief is or the identity is, and the various other components of learning as well. You may be here in this particular training program for an hour or two on a day, or maybe less than that as well. But apart from it in a daily life, you need to implement that, work about it, and there are various other things that impact your growth and your goals that you have set. So the coaching may implement and help you in achieving the goals that you have set, and of course to set the goals as well. That is not that directly applicable to you, but perhaps the salary component is also one of the very fundamental part of it. Of course, if I am doing something, it is valuable to some other person, the other person may definitely reciprocate in the form of some energy exchange. So whatever your salary that you might have been getting, all of you are students, maybe some other maybe having some small component here and there of internship and others, but that's one of minimum that very reserved goal that one can set of it, of 10 times being there at least. So what is the component of ultimate training? Of course, the person whom you are speaking to has trained 600 individuals, not as an reserved group, but as different part of other components. We know that the right environment is very important. When I'm talking to we, that means I am not alone. There is a particular team that is part of it in getting through what I am presenting, in making sure that all your doubts are being resolved, and also making sure that Other components like projects, hackathons, and capstone projects are properly evaluated, monitored, and given you proper feedback as well. The important component of training also includes the specific use cases. Use cases in the sense, if I talk about any particular solution that may be just a day ago, or that may be 3 years ago, that may be 5 years ago, or the first initial component of the DAO project, what worked well, what did not work well, what the components did fabulously well in that, and what we can learn from it that we can improve upon, the mistakes that we can think of it. It's very important to understand our learning pattern. How I learned blockchain was fiddling around with 20 different sites, reading books, going through different trainings myself, volunteering myself in different internships and other components, and of course in my teaching program as well. So there are certain patterns that I've observed in me. Following that, I can see that, blockchain is one part of it, but if I have to extend to any other part of training, that can easily be extended for me as well. Similarly, there are different people whom I have trained and taught as well, that allowed me to learn their learning patterns and them to learn their learning patterns as well. So the training part constitutes that component. Apart from that, we necessarily will be also getting through that there are three parts of it. One part is definitely just the basic part of Ethereum environment, where Solidity and JavaScript are the backend and React Redux are the front end. So initially, we'll be talking about that. And also one of the important components of the training is to get through the advanced blockchains, where you can also experience and contribute through this particular skills that you are learning. Few of the last days are reserved for giving you an exposure of other components, where I'm sure that it's just a mock drill that will help you out for getting through to the desired place where you can experience the growth and the contribution. So why the peer group? If you remember, one of the second components apart from training is the peer group. So quality of our life is a direct reflection of the expectations of your peer group. So why, if you are at Bitspilani, it's of course that the environment is such. The environment also constitutes the peer group who you are here. They always keep you at the edge. There is never ever a time that you can get relaxed, at least from the academic point of view. It has been observed that the environment is set by the expectations from your students. There are different campuses for this particular university, and one of the very great components of the campus where you are and the performance of yours is the peer group's expectation from you. We have seen that in the army and armed forces as well, people perform exceptionally well when they are in that particular environment. As soon as they go out of the armed forces, they take retirement or something else, their performance drops significantly, primarily because of the fact that the peer group's expectation from them is humongously large when they are in the armed forces environment. And it has been time and time and time again tested and seen that the peer group, their expectations from you is at least or at max the reflection of your expectation from yourself and how much you can grow in that particular moment by becoming uncomfortable and taking certain different type of actions there. How we are creating a peer group, how we are making through with that, it's a process that we will follow through it as we are going in this part of training program. Okay, let's talk about some numbers. It's not that where we are getting through, we have started on a rocket and we are going through a particular planet and there is no planet that is existing. We started with training this particular program, and not that this training is not paid for it or doesn't add any particular value. So if you look at the numbers, these numbers are in USD per year and in number of thousands. So in Asia, intermediate level of developer or a developer with a different degree of experience, minimum degree of experience, can get roughly around 60,000 USD to 120,000 USD. In Europe, remote and USA, the numbers are also encouraging for us. And these data I've taken from multiple sources where they prove and verify that this is currently that is growth, and we can experience the growth in particular industry in terms of paid and payment as well for us. So what we are going to learn is a technology which is highly in demand, and I would take a lot of pride saying that it is one of the top paying skills right now in the industry. Next part of this program also includes the coaching program. You may be wondering, where does the coaching come across? Where does this mentoring come across? So we are just taking a technology, how it is important. First of all, what you are getting through it in next 30 days period of time, it is very important for you to set some goals. There is a procedure to set goals for yourself that will be helped and guided you so that you are making a specific, measurable, and realistic goal, which is relevant to you, and you can achieve it in a time-bound manner. Not only that part of it would be provided to you, but also we have seen over a period of time that if I am valuing myself, or my identity is that I am not a good programmer, or I cannot earn that much, or I cannot provide any particular value to anyone, and there are limiting beliefs that are there with me, unless that are shattered or removed, and a proper belief system are set up in your particular software, that is your belief system software, that without which you cannot take different actions to get to that particular level. And there are other components of the training as well that are very important for you to learn the pattern for yourself, and for you to make sure that whatever you start with it is achieved in time. So weekly interactions, apart from the technical interactions, are important to make sure that you are a part of a proper system and growing and learning about yourself as well. It has been personally observed. There are multiple number of online trainings that I have enrolled for it, and I'm very sure of it that the numbers for me is almost similar to for you as well. There are very less of them I have completed myself, and whom I have completed, whom I not completed. There is specific degree of it also involved, apart from my personal level of self commitment that is also involved with it, where the peer groups are also part of it, and also how much the entire community is responsible for each other. But if a particular person is also helping me, making sure that whatever commitments I have made for me myself, there is an accountable partner for me who is verifying those commitments for me, and allowing me to see that what is not visible to me uh, while I am fighting and learning myself. See, the blockchain development or Web3 developer is contrastingly different from any other developer in Web2, or maybe AI developer, or data science, or full stack developer. Primarily, the other developer community is a reserved community where the timelines and the groups and the techniques and the procedures and everything is well defined. Still, in Web3 developer community, it's more or less a peer group community where people are sitting in remote places, coordinating different components. And here, for us to shine as a developer, it is far more important to learn the techniques that are important, and also understand what industry can provide. In other parts, there is a particular stack where there is a manager, there are a particular level of architect, and the developer is only 20% of the entire product. But here in Web3 development community, I would say that 90-95% of the entire product is the Web3 developer or developer community in itself. So where you can shine up massively in that particular peer group community, once you know your level of domain range, and also the correct level of skills that are required in the community for not only for the part what can be done, but also what can be done the quickest amount of time as well. See, this training course is spread across in 4 different timelines. Initially, in first 5 days, will be a basic setup will be done, and the capsule project will be released. Basic also includes very simple basics of what can be done, what cannot be done, and the basic components of JavaScript and other parts as well. So where you will be forming a group, and the capsule project will be released for you. You may be going through it in the next 25 days period of time, whatever is left for you to complete that thing. Next 10 days will be dedicated primarily in the backend project, where some projects and hackathons are released for you to do. Projects are not that bigger one, but while you're learning, while you're developing, how massively you can contribute at the level of implementation as well. And so on, the training program will work around and will progress while we are going through it. Other blockchains will also be discussed in the next 10 days, and last 5 days will be dedicated for this particular program. You may be wondering, it's only 30 days things, how much time may be required for me to contribute, what are the things that I may stop or start doing it up. See, here it is a level of commitment that you can think for yourself how much you can contribute. Whatever I am getting through in the evening session, I will be recording it up and giving it to you. It's for you to take it up. It's the baggage that how much you can live in, how much you can progress it up for yourself. It's up to you. But yes, there is a timeline that is there. The progression part also involves you to be involved and actively associated with following what has been given in this particular limited amount of time. After this particular set of the course, you not only would be a training ready or industry ready people, also you would learn how your learning happens, because as in the as in doctor community, professional doctors, as in the professional lawyer community, it's always learning. Similarly, in this particular field as well, you necessarily need to keep on evolving yourself. So for you to keep on learning yourself, it is important for you how you learned this particular skill. And there is a support for life that will be provided. Life means at least till the point this community is there, you have some strong people here. You can always fall back wherever you are there. I am facing this particular issue and that particular issue. If the community is responsible enough to answer your thing, that will be there. But we can direct you always to the correct source where the doubt can be addressed and the problem can be handled further with. Okay, now important part of it, is it for me? Is it right for me? How I can start working for it? There are only four components that you need to take care of it. Do you have it or not have it in me? And the parameter is, do you have it in a low level, average, high, outstanding, or you want to set a new standard for them? How much learning appetite you have for learning this particular technology, where it may involve using your previous techniques or strategies you have learned to implement that. It may be required for you to unlearn some specific things and learn something new as well. So what is your learning appetite right now determines how you are ready for this particular program. Programming experience, I'm sure that you have somewhat, maybe many of you are at least having C programming experience. Some of you are also having a bit of object-oriented experience as well. Maybe you are learning while you are going through different courses in your field where you are at campus as well. You may be learning how much commitment you can make. How much is determined upon the level of task that you can get it done in that particular period of time as well. But at least I can say that if you're ready to commit 12 hours a week, minimum to minimum, that will be necessary for you to see any particular change in a month's time, without which you might not be able to experience some change even after devoting 1 month period of time in lectures and hearing anything. So are you ready for the formal training as well? This you need to specify, speak to yourself, take note for it. And maybe this is for it from my side. Thank you so much for giving your time. I'm very happy to address any of your doubts that you may be having.